So when the lineup first came out, I was the one thing we knew was that there were going to be lots of changes. Both teams would make a lot of changes. Arsenal making changes to strengthen their team from the weekend, and Chelsea were making changes that will probably weaken their team from the weekend. The big thing for me was the change in system. When you look at the actual layout of the formation, there's lots of natural triangles and diamonds, which allow for good possession football, but then also good penetrative football. You have lots of numbers through the middle of the field, and I think when it's done right, and I think Chelsea are an example of the formation when it's done right generally, because their record has been impeccable since Tuchel came and took over. When it's done right, it's a formation that can be used to control the game pretty well, especially through the midfield. Using the 3-4-3 against Chelsea was a great strategy, borderline genius, and it's not a phrase I use easily. The matching of the formation nullifies their main threat. It's not what we want to see. We want to see an Arsenal team that get on the ball and impose their style on an opponent. But you know what? Tactically, he's shown that he can change things up and transfer the information to the players so that the players can go out there and do it. Moving on to the game, it was a scrappy game for us. It wasn't anything pretty to look at, but scrappy game, winning a scrappy game is something we've needed to do for a long time. So I'm more than happy with getting 3 points from 32% possession and 2 shots on target. But if we're going to criticize Arsenal because they had more possession, didn't win a game, then let's give Arsenal the credit for winning the game when they didn't have as much possession. And if you're not sure what I mean, you look at the Leicester game earlier in the season, they had 43% possession, 2 shots on target, they won the game. You look at Tottenham early in the season, 31% possession, 3 shots on target, they won the game. You look at Burnley, 35% possession, 2 shots on target, they won the game. The first game against Everton, 42% possession, 2 shots on target, they won the game. The second game against Everton, 41% possession, 1 shot on target, and they won the game. So teams have been doing this to us. So I'm happy that we're out there doing it to other teams now. Performances today, I thought Smith Rowe was magnificent today. It's great to see such a young player who can play without fear, who's got such bravery and such poise on the ball, and then when he picks the ball up, he just runs at people and he just looks to commit people. He's got a great little turn of pace, great ball control. He's a special player. He really is. What I liked most, though, was the defensive side of things. What he did, dropping in and plugging the gap, adding an extra body in midfield, making it hard for them to play. He did it with great discipline. Same with Odegaard. Odegaard did the same thing, dropping into those spaces, making sure it was very difficult to play into their midfield and get the ball into those creative players. I thought defensively as a whole, we did a good job. The centre backs were just immense, throwing themselves at everything, winning as much as they could in the air, blocking. And then it was also great to see the 2 central midfielders just sitting there plugging those gaps as well. I also thought Elneny was very good today. The thing about Elneny is Elneny's not really what you'd classify as like an Arsenal player. He's not like one of the midfielders we've had in the past. He doesn't really have much pace, and technically he's not the best. Is he Premier League level? Yes, I think he's Premier League level. I think he could do a great job for like a Southampton or an Aston Villa. But one thing that you're going to get from Elneny is work rate. That guy works hard. You can see that there's a pride in him and he's proud to be an Arsenal player. You can see that he, whenever he wears the shirt, gives 100% all the time. And I appreciate that. And I think it should be praised. He might not be the best player, but he is definitely one of the more committed players that we have. in terms of what he puts onto the field. He may have a bad game, but he's trying. And as I say, I appreciate that. I thought Aubameyang today was sensational. I thought it was a captain's performance. And people are probably thinking, what? Well, I'm talking about the defensive side of things. A lot's been made about him, about how poor he's been in front of goal, about how he signed this new contract and he's not invested and he's not interested anymore. Well, I'll tell you something. If you're a forward and you're playing 35 yards from your own goal and you're chasing and you're cutting off passing lanes and you're making tackles and you're looking to put people under pressure, you're invested. 100% invested. When it came time in the forward areas, he, rather than snatching at the attempt after Aretha Balaga touched the ball, instead of trying to go for goal from a tight angle, kept a cool head, was able to find Smith Rowe for a very well taken goal. Lastly, I think Leno was superb today. While he makes a mistake every 10 games or so, he saves us 2 or 3 times a game. And so, again, I know there's a lot of people that are happy, for him to go, but I say just be careful what you wish for. There aren't many great goalkeepers that we can bring in. He is a very good, very solid goalkeeper. He's at the right age, and is a German international. I mean, where else are you going to find a goalkeeper of that caliber without having to spend a lot of money? So yeah, that was my analysis of the Chelsea Arsenal game. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please like and share with your friends, family, whatever Arsenal fans you can also leave comments. I'll respond to comments, and I'm happy to engage. I'm also available on social media, so you can get me on my Instagram or my Twitter accounts. I am sensible_gunner. Come on, you Gunners.